We're talking right now about how to import data into Stata. Everything that I'm going to talk about you can actually find for yourself if you simply look up Stata import delimited. It'll give you to a PDF which gives you everything I'm going to talk about. Or if you use the second command, which is Stata import Excel, which again will lead you to a separate PDF which tells you how to import Excel files. So basically there's most often three types of files that will import into Stata. These are text files, which end in a suffix of txt, CSV files, which end in CSV, and in Excel files, which most often end in .xlsx. There's different commands to import these different file types. Text and CSV files are imported using import delimited, and Excel files are imported using import Excel. For each of these commands, you have to say which file you're using. So you'll say using, and then you'll specify the file name. And there's a few options. Options always come after a comma, which are useful for each of these. And we'll talk about these and show these. You can actually have more than one option as long as they're specified by spaces. So for import delimited, the ones that I think are most relevant are specifying the variable name on the first row, which is variable name, and then the row number. Specifying that you want all the variables to be exported in lowercase, which is case parentheses lower, and specifying what the delimiter is. One delimiter we often use is the vertical line, so it would be shown just like this: delimiter, parentheses, quote, vertical line, parentheses, quote, parentheses. For import Excel, probably the ones that we'll use most often are again specifying that the variables all be exported in lowercase, and also that the first row of the data specifies the variable name. So let's show you how all these work in practice. We're going to do that using files which are found within our analysis folder of the Reading in Glaucoma and Dry Eye project. So Reading Glaucoma, Dry Eye, analysis, and it's going to be within the source file, and there's going to be an Excel file, a text file, and a CSV file, which we'll use in this example. If we're starting in Stata, we want to again first start and specify our working directory. So I'm going to specify our analysis folder as we've talked about before. So I'm going to go into work, projects, the specific project of Reading Glaucoma and Dry Eye, and I'm going to put the analysis folder as our starting folder, our working directory. And now let's start out with the text file. So let's say I want to import this table cataract text file. So the parent command is import delimited. Then I have to say using which file. If I simply say table cataract, you'll notice that I get a problem. That it says that it's not found. It's not found because it's within the source file, which is within the analysis folder. And so I actually have to modify it to not only have this txt ending, but also to say that it's within the source file. Again, there's another problem. So it tells me now that I only have one variable and 181 observations. Well, is that really what's there? Well, I can look at my actual text file by opening it, and I see there's all these different rows, and there seems to be all these different variables, but they're each separated by this vertical line, which is the delimiter. And so since I didn't specify that delimiter, it thinks that everything is just one big text document or line of text. And so what I actually have to do is go back and first clear my data, and now try and re-import it, specifying the delimiter. And this is the syntax for it: vertical line, quote, and parentheses. And now it says there's 17 variables and 180 observations because now the first line is also taken as the variable names for the data. So that shows you how to do a text file. Let's try and import this CSV file. And so now I'm going to use the same command, import delimited using, and now again I'm going to specify the source folder. I'm going to say testing dates CSV, and now it gives me 2 variable names and 180 observations. I wonder whether that's correct because I don't have any variable names here. I can actually go to that CSV file and I see that there are no variable names specified, so it's just assigning them for us, which is what I would want it to do anyway. So that's correct. Now let's import an Excel file. Let's use this Health Literacy Survey Excel file. So now I'm going to use import Excel. I'm going to say using source and health lit survey XLSX. So it's giving me all these different variables, but there's no variable labels. I say, well, is that correct? Did I actually put them on the Excel datasheet? Well, in fact, actually the first row does give me the variable names, but I haven't told Stata to actually use the first row for variable names. So I have to clear my data set and rerun the command, now telling it with the first row option that the first row represents the variable names. And so now I get all the variable names, and I can look at it in the data browser or data editor, that now the first row is not all variable names, but now the variable names are put on top. The problem here is that all the variable names are put in capitalized letters. I don't like that. I want them to be in lower letters. So I can say case lower as a second option with a space between, and it won't let me do it because I haven't cleared my data set. So I'm going to clear my data set and I'm going to rerun that command. And now it imports everything using the first row as data, but also specifying that all the variable names are lowercase. This covers the major types of data imports, and if you have any questions, you can go back to the actual help files, which are in PDF, which you can get online or through Stata directly.